Yesterday is directed by Danny Boyle and written by Richard Curtis, one of my favorite screenwriters, and it stars newcomer Hemish Patel and Lily James. Lily James. And it tells the story of Jack, a struggling musician when hit by a bus, wakes up in a world where nobody remembers the Beatles except for him. He remembers them, the impact that they had, and the impact of their songs. And he remembers their songs, for the most part at least. There are really funny sequences where Jack is trying to remember the lyrics, and he has to go to certain places to be inspired, and then he can go on and release those songs. And let me start there. This film is funny. This is probably Richard Curtis's funniest film, and everyone delivers on it. I'll go more into the delivery itself, but the script, there are so many hilarious jokes. The whole theater I was at was laughing out loud constantly with so many of the jokes in this film. It's hilarious, and it is charming, and it's heartwarming, and it's wholesome. And every single one of those words that I told you is exactly what you expect from a Richard Curtis screenplay. It is all of those. One of the things that I love the most about his screenplays is that he always talks about love, but not necessarily in the way you expect. You don't expect his stories to be just about boy meets girl, they fall in love, the end. He talks about loving stuff. He talks about you loving music in this film. He talks about a father to son love. He talks about loving to spread the enthusiasm of rock and roll and the radio, the boat that rocked. He talks about all so many sorts and forms of love in Love Actually alone. That's one of the things that I love about this man, the way he writes his films and his stories, and he does it again in this film. Of course, at the center of it is an actual love story, the love story of Jack and Ellie. Hemish Patel, I don't know him. He is a newcomer. He is really, really great, and he has amazing chemistry with Lily James, and she's brilliant in this film. Let's go into the delivery that I alluded to at the beginning. This cast was phenomenal, from our two main stars to the supporting cast to Ed Sheeran even, who's basically playing himself. Everyone boosts up the impact of both the comedic moments and the dramatic moments. Speaking of dramatic, the climax, the finale of this film is one of the most satisfying, one of the most grandiose I have seen in recent memory. The film finds ways to deliver a 1-2 punch that just fills your heart with the satisfaction of, I'm watching a good film, and it puts a smile on your face that way. Let me just deliver a side note about Ed Sheeran. He plays himself, there's not much to say about his performance, but the dude has got to be one of the less vain people in the entire world, because the dude, his entire role is dedicated to make him look kind of bad when it comes to a songwriter, a singer, and one of the world's best, most famous performance. He just has so much fun with it. I love that he doesn't give a shit. He's just a dude. I love him, and I love what he does in this film. Thank you, Ed Sheeran. You're awesome. The film also gets pretty creative with its premise. I'm just going to say that. I cannot say much more because it would be spoiling you guys, but the film has a lot of fun with both this love story at the center of it and the context surrounding it. This is a film that you have seen before. That's one of the worst things I can say about this film. You've seen it before. Yet it does what it promises to do well. But there are moments where it kind of forgets its premise. Jack remembers the songs. He decides to make the songs his own. He becomes famous because of the songs. And the film just hovers in that area throughout the second act into the third act. There isn't much more to do with it. So the film just kind of stays in that standstill and explores the love story, which is the meat of this film. It's the interesting part. It's what you stay there to see, but at the same time it's telling the story, and while one of the stories is advancing, the other one is just here waiting for its moment to shine. So it feels like the two stories don't necessarily converge together for the most part. And also, this might seem like a little nitpick, but it kept happening over and over again, and it kept bothering me. And coming the end of the film, I didn't find a purpose for them. So to you guys, it might seem like a little thing. To me, it really bothered me because there were random shots throughout scenes in this film where the camera was just like this. It was at a Dutch angle for no reason at all. It wasn't an hallucination. It wasn't an illusion. Nobody was disorientated. Nothing. It was just random shot here, boom, back to a normal shot that makes sense in the context of the film. So the film almost leaves its context to the side, but in the most part, this is just as charming, as funny, as wholesome as you can expect, with magnificent performances, an incredibly great love story at the center of it, as you'd expect from Richard Curtis. There are those moments that you hesitate to think, why are these things that turn out not to be important there? Nonetheless, I totally recommend this film, especially if you're a Beatles fan. I'm giving Yesterday a B. Guys, what did you think of Yesterday? Let me know in the comments below, and let me know is your favorite Beatles song, your least favorite. Thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best. I hope to see you in my review for Toy Story 3 tomorrow, and my review for Toy Story 4 after that. I already have reviews for Toy Story 1 and 2, so I hope you check those out, and I hope to see you in the next review. So until then, stay beautiful, stay geeky, and if you haven't done so yet, click the subscribe button, click the bell, so we can be geeky united!